time. David Rausch has been our police chief. I've enjoyed working with him very much. But any good boss knows that when you've got a great employee and they want to take that next step for their own professional advancement, that you need to celebrate with them, and that's what we're doing today. Wishing Chief Rausch a lot of luck, a lot of success in his new job. Wish him well, and know he'll do a great job.
What's leading up to this, of course, being a candidate, you know the thought that he could get this, and he did. Did he have people in mind? Have you already taken steps moving forward to who the next possible police chief could be here in Knoxville?
Right. So in terms of the next steps, I announced today that I will begin the process of selecting his successor immediately. I already have scheduled meetings with deputy chiefs. We have 4 deputy chiefs who are really the first to talk to. I want to talk to them about their perspectives on the department, the insights that they have as deputy chiefs, what they think the priorities of the next police chief should be, and then whether each of them want to be considered for that position. And so we'll really start there and see how that turns out. You know, I am not required to select from the deputy chiefs, but there is a tradition of doing that, because typically deputy chiefs are those who have served for a number of years in the department. They have excelled, they have advanced training, advanced degrees, and so they should be considered first, I think.
Who are these people? Do you have their names? Can we know them?
Yeah, so Deputy Chief Gary Holliday, Deputy Chief Cindy Gass, Deputy Chief Eve Thomas, and Deputy Chief Kenny Miller.
Ideally,
in no particular order.
Ideally, when would you like the new chief announced?
Well, I'm not going to set a date now. You know, as soon as we can. We have a good, well-functioning department. They are all still in their positions, and so the department can, you know, move along with them in the position as it is while we make this decision. I'm not going to rush it, but at the same time, I'm not going to drag my feet on it either.
Will you be appointing an interim director?
I don't think that'll be necessary, because you know, if it turns out after meeting with the 4 that I feel like I need more time, then I might do that. But at this point, I don't see a need to do that.
What does Knoxville lose as Chief Rausch moves to Nashville?
Well, Chief Rausch not only knows the police department inside and out, but he also has established really excellent working relationships in the community. And any new police chief, that is, as you know, both of these things are very important. First, you want your chief to manage the department and do it well. The chief needs to know what's happening on the ground, on the street, needs to be supportive of the police force, and needs to help each of those officers do the best they can and move up in their careers, provide them with opportunities. So first, we want a really well-functioning police department, and that's the first responsibility of the police chief. But likewise, for the police to be successful, we need to have really excellent relationships with the community. The community is only safe when the community and the police work together. That's what community policing is all about. We depend on those relationships to make our city safe. So the next police chief needs to be like Chief Rausch in terms of having really developing good relationships, to have the relationships now as much as they can, but also then to have a personality such that they want to go out and meet the community and work with the community and engage them in community policing. So there's two pieces to that. The department is part of the city. They need to function as part of the city and reward good city employees, good police officers, and move them up the ranks, but also have that excellent relationship with the community. And so that's what Police Chief Rausch did, and that's what I want in a new police chief.
Likewise, what is the state gaining in Chief Rausch?
Well, in Chief Rausch, the state gains somebody who knows police work from the streets on up to advanced leadership. Because this is a statewide position, Chief Rausch's work at the state level. You know, he is head of the IACP, has served as the top of the He's served as top of the Tennessee Association of the Chiefs of Police, so he knows departments across the state. He has spoken and testified in committees at the State House, whether it's for the State Senate or the State House. He's known as an expert on many different topics. So he's known across the state, which will do him really well as a statewide TBI director. Also, he's known at the federal level. He has testified before Congress. He has been to the White House, over the last couple of administrations. So he can function well at the federal level. So I think he brings the local, state, and federal experience to the TBI offices.
What does it mean to Knoxville to have our police chief chosen as a director of such a big state organization?
Well, I think it's great for the city of Knoxville, though you always hate to lose somebody that you enjoy working with and who's done a good job. I think it's great for Knoxville that we will have, just like it's been good for us to have a friend in the governor's office, certainly to be able, the governor knows Knoxville and has always been a good friend and supporter of Knoxville. I think it's good for Knoxville to also have somebody we know well in the TBI office.
From your talks with Chief Rausch, what is the morale like at the department, and how important will it be to keep that up and maybe hire within if that keeps the morale high?
Right. Well, always the morale of the department is always very important. So that's one of the things as I'm meeting with the deputy chiefs, and also through this process, I'll meet with representatives of the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. Certainly any of the officers who want to speak with me. We want to know how can we continue to make the department better. And so that in our new police chief, whoever that is, their job will be to get in there and say, okay, where are we now? What do we need to do? What's working well? What needs to be changed? Let's work together to try and continually improve the department.
The new chief that comes in will have his own ideas.
Or her own, his or her.
Correct, sure. So what programs would you like to see continued from the Rausch era?
Well, certainly, so in terms of the programs that I would like to see continued, certainly community policing. Right now we have our officers go to dozens and dozens, I forget the exact number, of neighborhood meetings each month. And so as neighborhoods meet, they have their assigned officer who's there and can talk to them about whatever issues, can give them the stats, the crime stats for the area, answer any questions, and be made aware of concerns of the neighbors. Certainly that will continue. The Save Our Sons program is another example where we work with groups that are addressing the unmet needs and creating opportunities for young men and boys of color who have been disproportionately affected by violence. So we will continue that. Again, just one of the things that the next police chief will do is work with us to develop that combined police and fire headquarters. So huge construction project. And so that will be a big job working with the deputy chiefs and the city, the consultants in the city, the rest of the city, the law department and operations, all of those together will work to make sure that we build a top-notch police and fire station. So that'll be a big responsibility too.
I'm sure it's not lost on you that Mayor Brown before you, then yourself, both set precedent with becoming the first minority, then the first woman mayor of the city. You are in a position with just over 12, 18 months left to go in your term to really make a lasting impression before that opportunity for someone else as a police chief. Is that something that you take pretty seriously?
I don't
to look into hiring a minority or a woman candidate.
Well, yeah. So yes, I will. My decision on who becomes the next police chief will not be based on gender or race. Right now, the 4 deputy chiefs, if I choose from them, there are 2 women and 2 men. I want the most well-qualified, the best qualified person. If it's a woman, it will be a woman. If it's a man, it'll be a man. And it's my job to interview those 4, and if I am comfortable to choose from among one of them, then I will choose whom I think is the best qualified and will work best and will follow those priorities that we've talked about to continue to run an excellent department and to continue to develop good relationships with the community. So I'm not out to make a statement, but if a statement is made in my selection, then so be it. But it's about the most qualified person, in my opinion.
Did you say how long the process would be? Do you have a
I don't
timeline?
have a timeline yet. We'll start tomorrow in meeting with deputy chiefs, and we'll just see. I don't know yet what the timeline will be. It shouldn't take too long.
How about Chief Rausch's last day? Any idea? I know that he starts there on the 25th. Any idea where between now and the 25th?
Do you know, he
That
called
works.
me this morning to tell me that he had received the offer, and we didn't even talk about that. So I need to get, we had to hurry up and prepare the announcement and work out all the details. So I'm not sure about that yet.
How
Could it
excited
go,
is he?
Could it go to the 24th? I mean,
Pardon me?
is there any reason why it couldn't go all the way to the 24th?
What, for him working here?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, except he might actually want a vacation
Either,
between
yeah.
one
Right.
job and the other, look for housing. I mean, I don't know. So I'm going
Yeah.
to talk to him, whatever works best for him. Like I said, we have 4 excellent deputy chiefs. The department is running very smoothly. They can fill in and work together. They all get along very well. If he needs to leave right away, then we will make it work, because he needs, if he needs some time off or he just needs to get to Nashville to get going, then we'll work with him on it.
Is he excited? I'm sure this is a bittersweet moment for him too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think in talking with him, I'm sure he's very excited. But he grew up in this department, and so I'm sure it will be bittersweet for him to leave so many friends, so many community members that he's worked with so much over the years and so well over the years. So I'm sure it'll be bittersweet. But, like all of us, we want to move ahead. We want to fulfill our the promises that we have in our professional position. So I don't blame him at all for pursuing this next step.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Thanks. You guys will have to figure these out.